Some say that long before you learned words, you were already listening. You were a field, tuned to signals that hummed beneath the surface of things. And every time you breathed, the universe whispered, grow. Now imagine that each breath you take is a gardener's hand opening the soil. In that soil lie dormant seeds, intuition, clear sight, courage, compassion. When the breath goes in, roots search downward for nourishment. And when the breath flows out, stems lift toward light. Nothing forced, nothing explained, only the gentle inevitability of growth. Sometimes you forget you're that garden. You think you're the weather that passes overhead. But the weather changes, and the garden remains, quietly upgrading its frequency, translating sunlight into sugar, sugar into strength. And you may begin to realize that separation is just the label we slap on what we don't yet understand. Like calling a single wave different from the sea that raised it. Every label is a fence. Every insight is a gate. And it's funny how, the moment you stop policing the fences, you start noticing how easily the gate swings open. When a person remembers they're a garden instead of a storm, their life reorganizes itself. Ideas pollinate. Coincidences become collaborations. Even resistance, the weeds, turn out to be compost for future fruit. And when one garden starts thriving, neighbouring fields catch their scent. That's how collective awakening works. Not by shouting wake up at the soil, but by blossoming so audaciously that others remember what blooming feels like. Ignore this rhythm, and the opposite unfolds. The weeds thicken, the soil hardens. Dreams dry up like rivers out of season. Not as punishment, just as the natural result of neglect. Because energy unused, it sours into anxiety. And intuition untrusted calcifies into cynicism. That's the real cost of not acting on what you already know. Neuroscience calls it neuroplasticity. Attention fires neurons, repetition wires them. What mystics call frequency upgrade is your nervous system rewiring itself to process wider bandwidths of perception. Each time you notice beauty instead of boredom, you're training sensory neurons to recognize patterns and coherence. Each time you express gratitude, you're adjusting neurotransmitters that regulate focus and empathy. It's chemistry performing liturgy. So from now on, treat intuition like a muscle and a game. Ask for a symbol. Catch the first silly image that appears, a feather, a fox, a flicker of blue, and assume it means something kind. Act on that kindness and watch what follows. Half the fun is discovering the universe rewards experimentation more than perfection. And when you forget, as every apprentice forgets, laugh. Because even laughter is a frequency shift, a pressure release valve for the spirit's boiler room. You're not trying to become enlightened. You're remembering. You already broadcast light. The switch is attention. The current is compassion. The appliance is your daily action. Plug in, and illumination happens automatically. So tonight, as you breathe, picture a dimmer knob in the center of your chest. Notice it's already turning. Not because I told you to, but because it always does when you remember. And tomorrow, if someone asks what changed, you can smile and say, "Oh, nothing special. Just tuning my garden to a higher station."